Okay, are you ready for another series of poor man's bodywork? Well, this time we're going to be working on the passenger side door, and that's a lot worse off than the door on the driver's side was. So let's go. Alright, I got the door propped open with a 4x4. Let's just see if I can hit the bottom and the central part of the door with the 36 grit wheel that I got on the grinder. Position here rather than have to hunch over. Start down here and then I'll come over
here. Old Grady lived in the shanty row, and the people often said they wished that he would move away or else his goat was dead. He kept the children in a fright, and the people often vexed. They didn't know just where when the goat would turn up next. Oh, Grady's goat, ha-diddly-dum-dee-dee. Oh, Grady's goat, ha-diddly-dum-dee-dee. With their guns, their sticks, their knives, the husbands and their wives, they tried most all their lives to kill old Grady's goat. Mrs. Murphy hung her clothes out on the line to dry. She went to get them in at night and stopped to make her cry. The sleeves of two red woolen shirts that once were worn by Pat were both chewed off up to the neck, and old Grady's goat done that. Oh, Grady's goat, ha-diddly-dum-dee-dee. Oh, Grady's goat, ha-diddly-dum-dee-dee. With their guns, their sticks, their knives, the husbands and their wives, they tried most all their lives to kill old Grady's goat. Having a party at McNeil's and they were having fun. All of a sudden there came a crash and everybody run. The oyster stew fell on the floor and nearly drowned the cat. Okay, you can see it's more shiny than not. I was going to actually try to cut that out of there, but then I'd have to cut this out, and I'm not going to do that. Now when I work over here, I got aluminum paint in here. I'm just going to grind this out and I'm going to put the rust reformer in here, because I'm not planning on painting or priming this today. But the door I am. And what I want to do here is I got to get this out. I'll have to... This door in here is very good in here. It's just from here down. So I don't really like to take that rubber out of there, and I don't have enough contact cement to put it back in. I have enough maybe to do this part of this. But I got to get in there with some kind of a grinder or do something. You know what? That's almost all bare metal. You know, it's pretty flat, so I'm not going to try to cut that out and put a piece of metal in there and pop rivet it. It's going to be humpy and dumpy and lumpy and everything else. And I'm not even going to put the primer on. I'm going to put the Bondo glass on that. I'm going to put the Bondo glass right on that, because that's 99%, as you can see here. Shiny bare metal. There is some indication of rust down here. It's got to be hit more, but I got to wait for these pins and needles to go out of my hands. This thing is raising hell with me, and I don't need carpal tunnel syndrome, that's for damn sure. Alright, because this has more rust than bare metal, I've hit the self-etching primer in this area, and I'll Bondo over that. This one I'm going to put Bondo glass on because there's holes in here, and that'll be stronger and more waterproof than the regular Bondo. So I'm going to put a thin coat of Bondo glass on here, and then I'll put some finish lightweight Bondo over that. And when I get this done, then I'll grind the inside. I'll concentrate on the outside first.
need the hardener. That's what you got to do first. I'm going to show you the mixing so you critics out there that say I'm using too much hardener can see for yourself how much hardener I actually use on this.
Now, yeah, I don't know if it's a golf ball. It's a little less than a golf ball. I already kneaded this. We put the hardener in. See?
That's about what I use.
Now, it says you're not supposed to do this because it gets air bubbles, but it mixes a lot faster this way. And this is only the first coat anyways. Use this. Mix it. I'll probably end up using this spatula to apply it and then finish to smooth it out with the Harbor Freight spatula. I'm no expert at this, but all I know is what works for me, you know? It's very hard to mix it this way because I like stirring it because it gets it better. I have a lot of Bondo in the mix that doesn't have any hardener in it by doing this. I think I mixed up too much. Too much. See, that happens here. Alright. Now we'll use the Harbor Freight. Board here. I was going to try the wax paper thing, but I don't think I can coordinate myself very good with that. I don't want to have to learn. I knew I was going to do it. I got the wax paper and everything, but I don't know. When you're used to doing it one way throughout the years, you know, I don't know. I hope you could see that. Now that's all the Bondo glass I'm going to use on that, because I'm going to use the finished Bondo, the lightweight Bondo. And I will use Bondo glass on the inside. All right. That's just the first coat. You know, I will sand that when the time comes, and I will use Bondo glass on the inside after I get that all ground down and everything. We'll let that set, and we'll just take a light coating, but I don't even need any Bondo here. This is pretty good here. I wasn't able to get any rust out of here, just in through here and so forth. And we'll let this stuff set, and I can just take it right off. All right, we're going to let this set up, and we'll come back on the video when I'm ready to sand this. It's still sticky, so it's not ready to sand yet. But it's very close. But with Bondo glass, you don't want to wait too long because it'll be very hard. It's very close though. So like I say, I'm going to put the lightweight Bondo over this. still sticky. Of course, my fingers are sticky too. Yeah, yeah, that's still sticky. All right, we're gonna see. So I'm left-handed here, so I have to get over this way. This is a small area, so I'm not too worried about electric sanding or anything. There's a little depression right here I can feel. So naturally the lightweight bundle, which is this here that I'm going to be putting on next, should smooth that out. Actually, this isn't quite hard enough yet. I can dig my fingernails in that. This is why I say you got to use enough hardener. You don't want to wait hours. I know there was a figure of speech when I said 24 hours. Some people take me seriously, you know, honest to God. You know, but it's a figure of speech. It ain't gonna take 24 hours if you don't use enough hardener, but I'll tell you what, it's going to take hours. It may take an hour or two, you know. There's only so many hours in the day, and you know, you only get so many good days when you're working outside like this. Now there's another area down here that I can play around with while I'm waiting for that Bondo to dry. It's a lot worse than the driver's side. I think what I'm going to do here is I will use the rust reformer on this and this after I grind this aluminum paint off here and up in through here. And I'll leave that and just concentrate on doing the door today. You've got to put the wire brushes on the grinder. That's what I'm going to do. I'll come back on the video in a minute. Okay, this is still the Bondo glass. Yeah, I can still feel it with my fingernails. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll be here all damn day. And anyways, I can probably put a little bit of the lightweight Bondo in there. And I'll just put a skim coat on here. I got to make sure I mix it. I can feel a little here too. I'm not going to worry about it. You're not going to see that from a distance. You know, you're not going to see that from a distance. It's going to look pretty damn good. This isn't a show van, you know. Okay, we'll just hit it one more time here. We got it pretty smooth. And then I'm ready for the lightweight Bondo. Now this has been about a half an hour since I first put this first coat of Bondo glass on this bad area here. Half an hour, and I now can sand it. You can imagine if I use less hardener. All right, I forgot to push the record button. I got it on, and it's a very thin coat. We'll let it set up. All right, I'm going to try to grind in here. It's not going to be easy because that wheel is big. And it's going to be tough getting into certain places. And with the wire wheels, you need gloves. You need gloves for any of this kind of stuff.
can't get into the corner, so I got to use something else on a drill here. All right, we're still waiting. We just applied this, so we're going to wait for that. So we're going to grind with the drill now and the wire brush. They're not going to get the rust out of that. There's no way. So we're going to use the rust reformer in there because I'm not worried about doing that area right now. But we're going to try to get a little more here. And if I can't get the rust out of here, we'll use the rust reformer in here too. The problem is the gasket goes right against that when I close the door up for the night. And I don't want the gasket to stick on the rust reformer. Good and solid. I think I'm gonna do and spray that stuff. I'm gonna mask it off here because the gasket hits up against here, and I want to mask this off, and apply in this area and in here the rust reformer. It's hard to grind this because I keep hitting this door. It keeps driving me this way onto the door here. I have to put a piece of metal in there, I guess, or something to wedge in there to keep it from hurting that. I'm going to try to grind up a little bit higher. I'll do that off camera, and I'll do this off camera too. I'm going to try to grind in here with the wire brush as much as I can and put the rust reformer in here too. I got to do this off camera. There's too much stuff going on video here, and it's not only slowing me up, but it's making for awful long videos. I got to mix up a little more, and there's a couple little places here, and maybe if I'm careful I can feather it in with adding more Bondo here. Feather it in, because up here it's feathered in nice. I see my finger slides right across it, and up here, but here, now I mean I can sand, but my back is killing me. Over here I got the rust reformer on here, and it turns the rust black. I'm not going to bother with a second coat. You know, I'm trying to get this job done, and I don't like waiting. I hate waiting. So they say you're supposed to use 2 coats. I just put it on heavy. I masked it off so it don't get onto the paint and everything. And I'm going to prime it tomorrow, or 24 hours from now. We'll let that stay there for 24 hours. All right, I got the second coat of lightweight Bondo on here to fill up these little voids that I have, and I still got lines in it. I can't help it. I didn't want to try the wax paper thing because I'll tell you what, if I did, I'd have it so thick on here that I'd have a 1/4 inch amount of Bondo on here. I would only use that method if I was doing it around the wheel wells and stuff. I might try it there, but not on these areas here. I just wouldn't be able to work with it. So.
down at the bottom. I may not get that today. I think what I'm going to try to do, I don't know if I should or not though. Might hit that with the rust reformer and let it set. But before I do that, I'm gonna hit this with the self-etching primer, and that'll protect that until I can get the gray paint to go there. I'm not going to bother using the red putty on that, because this side of the van needs a lot of work, and I got to try to get this done. I might try the wax paper thing when I do this, because this is a lot of rotted up underneath here, it's holes. I might try that in there. But on the flat surface, no, because it'll be so damn thick that I'll be sanding for a month.